Well, folks, one game I've always thought could use a little bit of upscaling is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And you know what? Would you look at that? Huh? Huh. I wonder what would happen if I combine these two together. Let's find out. Hey folks, this is your host, the one, the only Thrifty Gamer 83. I was looking at some of my old collection, my original Twilight Princess review on the Nintendo Wii, and I just felt it could use an improved look. And the Wii 2 HDMI does it rather well. I know after studying it that the Wii 2 HDMI is rather a misnomer, and instead it outputs an accurate picture for 1080p screens. It doesn't fully upscale it, but it gives a good picture and eliminates the needs for component cables. With that being said, and having PJ on the way, I need that cable clutter eliminator, as you can guess, and it makes the game look surprisingly well detailed. I know originally it was only for component and composite, but with bringing it up to 1080p screens, widescreen, 16:9 aspect ratio, it looks really, really good. As well, I've engaged into a little bit of digital trickery using the shortcut program to have it upscaled. And I must say, I am still, to this day, amazed by Twilight Princess. It's a game that should be in every Wii collector's book, or in every collector's case collection. I myself do have a case collection of games, which I will be posting up shortly. I can sit back and play Twilight Princess for hours on end, and sometimes I get lost. I lose track of time with it, whether on composite, component, or the Wii 2 HDMI. I still find it visually impressive, although I'm more impressed by the Wii 2 HDMI output and having that Timeleak HD72B, which I mentioned before in my upgrade videos. Yeah, that made a good deal of sense. When I look at The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, I'm brought back to the days of the Nintendo 64. I'm brought back to actually renting the game. Oh, yeah. In the days before digital gaming, you could rent a game, try it before you buy it, and then decide, do I want it? Most of the time, yeah, I wanted them. And I'm glad to see that Twilight Princess still has that nostalgia factor of taking me back in gaming and putting me into the shoes of Link and trying to rescue Zelda. It's the purest form of having an action role-playing game, and it's the clearest form of having to use what's given to you to solve the problems. And in the gaming world, it's humorous, it pokes fun at itself, and it pokes fun at your character as well. I'm glad to see that trend with Nintendo. I'm glad to see them have humor about it. And when you look at Twilight Princess, the visuals are stunningly amazing. I could only imagine what it would look like if it were redone, like the Wind Waker was redone for the Wii U. And I don't think there's anything that could really be said about just how authentically awesome the Wii honestly is. Nintendo harnessed the power and knew what it was doing with the Power PC chip, and knew how best to get a game like Twilight Princess running out in the open, knew how best to just max it out and have one of the most vibrantly lush worlds in a Zelda game. That is before Breath of the Wild, of course, and Breath of the Wild I'll review at another time. As for right now, Twilight Princess, while it doesn't have the open world gaming of Breath of the Wild, is still rather nice. And of course, you will be shape-shifting, which I'm not showing here. Sadly, I lost that in a corrupted data file, but that's besides the point. At least everything else is still working good now. I just can't help but give Twilight Princess just this awesome glowing review because it is what it is. It's an awesome game. It has tons of humorous characters. It has tons of various antics which cement the comedic effects. So, yeah, I like Zelda for the tongue-in-cheek style which it uses in gaming. I like the visuals being captured here much more than I like the visuals commonly associated with composite. It's a world of difference when you take a game like The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and use Wii Star, Wii 2 HDMI, or whoever else is on the market. You get a marked improvement. As well as I said before, it's a good cable cord clutter eliminator. So, bearing that in mind, just looking at Twilight Princess, as I said before, it takes me back to the days of the Nintendo 64. It takes me back to classic Zelda. While I do like Breath of the Wild, I sometimes do prefer direction and instruction in games on how best to achieve an objective, really. And Twilight Princess gives you that. And as well, it's not a sprawling oceanic area such as Wind Waker, but instead of using the cel-shaded graphics, it uses a more realistic appearance. And I like the realistic approach, I honestly do, and I liked it in Ocarina of Time. When you just look at Twilight Princess, you are seeing just what Nintendo knew it could get out of the hardware, as I said before, and what little software tricks they could engineer to give that game just some extra level of sharpness and detail. I will always be amazed by how well Nintendo can bring its intellectual properties to life with newer adventure games. And I think the case in point with that is Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, as I said before. Yet, with the Wii, as old as it is, you got to see Nintendo at the top of their game and bringing out titles like Twilight Princess and making them a humorous, difficult, good time and giving gamers just what they needed. It was just a love note to gamers from old-fashioned Zelda with all the tricks and trappings of a classic Zelda game. I've enjoyed Twilight Princess and just find myself saying, well, you know what? This could be quite possibly one of the greatest games I've ever played. I'm still amazed by how much time I can put into a game like Twilight Princess. I'm still amazed by how much it has me coming back. Even after losing the save file, I still would love to go right through this game again and again and all over again. Alright, folks, rant, rave, love, hate. Click that subscribe button. You're keeping my show on the air. Have a good one.